Hello everyone, it's Andrew Wine here, founder of Freestyle Feet and APA titled sports physio, and I'm also foot and ankle physio. You're watching this video if you are a healthcare professional. I know a lot of you have been emailing me asking about Flamingo Feet, toe spreaders, and instead of writing back to you in lengthy emails, I thought this would be the easiest way to talk you through how to use them, who they're for, and the best type of patient that you can put them on. So if we just go back in time a little bit, it was about 5 years ago, actually probably longer now, 6 years ago, and seeing a lot of foot and ankle issues over many years, I really knew the importance of strengthening the intrinsics. So as we started to test and use dynamometry to test the toe strength and realise that these patients with all sorts of presentations had weak arch muscles, and as the research started to really develop around the importance of strength in the toe flexors in terms of performance and balance, really I needed my patients to do intrinsic strengthening. What I found was, and I'm sure you feel the same, they won't do them for very long. Toe piano, toe gym, whatever you want to call it. Short foot they'll do incorrectly, they'll overdo it and use their long flexors. We got taught at university to do marble and towel scrunching, and that works the long flexors, not the short flexors. So I really didn't have much success, and I couldn't get patients to really keep doing them for more than a week or two unless they were very motivated. So the solution was Flamingo Feet. We started using traditional toe spreaders, which traditionally you can't walk around in. They would spread the toes really apart, under a lot of compression in the forefoot, and but the big issue was that it didn't really change the muscular function in the intrinsics because they couldn't walk around in them. So it's a nice little toe stretch, but it wouldn't necessarily strengthen anything. So enter Flamingo Feet. These guys are wearable. These are literally soft silicone, and I'll open them up in the packaging. Here's where they come. This is what they come in. There's a little instruction booklet on a little bit about the background, and importantly, 3 simple exercises for them to do as well. So the Flamingo Feet program. I'm holding that upside down, which are really sort of can be applied to really any sort of foot. But put simply, these spread the toes apart a small amount, okay? They come in pink and white, like all good flamingos, and the small little silicone spaces slot in between the toes, and you need to put them right down low, like so. If I demonstrate on my hand, really as low as you can. You can actually flip them around. The big spacer goes between the space of the first and the second. So that's the most important one to get in first. And feel free to play around with your patients as to whether they fit into their foot, their individual foot shape, up like this, or potentially down the other way. So pull them right down to as close to the MTPs as you can get them. As you can see here, the soft silicone sits in between, spreads the toes apart. So who are these really ideal for? Well, they really fit into 2 different categories, and I'll go through the first one first. The first category would be the one that they're probably most well known for, bunions. So these will typically give you about a 5-degree correction to the HAV angle. So if you're measuring that, then they'll typically push it out 5 degrees, which if they're mild to moderate hallux valgus, then that will certainly make a profound difference to their pain and function and the first rave. The other typical one is Morton's neuroma. That's probably the most number 2 type of patients. Morton's neuroma, you know just as much as me about it, but compression through the forefoot is the killer. So narrow shoes is a real issue with these patients. And of course, there's lots more going on further back upstream through the midfoot, rear foot, and even higher up as well. But that's up to you to have a look at and correct. What these will do is provide relief from the neuroma pain and even forefoot bursitis really quickly. It's simply just giving some space to the neurovascular bundle that runs between the metatarsal shafts. So Morton's neuroma. Clawed and hammer toes. Typically this is over contraction or overactivity in the long flexors that causes this, and there's usually weakness and dysfunction in the short flexors. Wearing Flamingo Feet around, putting them on, wearing them around bare feet, in socks, in slippers. They fit into Crocs really nicely. And then you could even consider a wide natural forefoot type shoe. So some brands off the top of my head are Topo, Altra, ALTRA are some athletic brands that have cushioning, but a natural forefoot shoe. So that's a good option. Then you can explore the barefoot option as well. But getting back to our clawed toe patients, so typically they'll be overactive in those long flexors. As soon as you put these on and walk around in them, you probably need to experience this for yourself. It stabilizes the forefoot. So it doesn't stop clawing completely, but it's quite hard to claw with these on. It really keeps the toes spread and connected down onto the ground. And that's where we first started getting results from patients by just wearing them, coming back 2 weeks later, doing no home exercise program other than wearing these for up to a few hours a day. They'll come back in and could differentiate, the first and the lesser toe differentiation test, for example. But they could do that 2 weeks after just wearing these. And then we started measuring on the toe pro dynamometer what their toe strength was like, in particularly targeting the intrinsics, and it was all better. So whilst we haven't got that published yet, that's only internal data, it's my aim to one day publish that to really prove that with some good quality evidence. Their intrinsic function and strength, and we think cross-sectional area as well, all goes up just from doing these without any exercises. And so that's the type of patient that will really benefit from a really clinical problem point of view. So bunions, bunionettes, Mons neuroma, clawed toes, hammer toes, pretty much all of those. Now, the other subcategory would be your athletes, and this is really where it's really not known much about. These flamingo feet have been on the feet of Olympians, people who have played at Wimbledon, people who have played at the French Open. So I'm obviously listing off some tennis players here. A professional triathlete used them as part of her stress fracture recovery. These have been on some big names. They generally don't want their secret to be out. Flamingo feet were featured in a Wall Street Journal article just last week. And in that article, I've mentioned Kelly Slater and Novak Djokovic also using them. So there's the secret's starting to get out about what it can do. So anyone that has tight boots, so footy players, soccer players, cyclists that wear really tight, stiff carbon fiber shoes, skiers. Some of you might have seen downhill skiers with almost crush injuries and instant bursitis in their forefoot from ski boot that's too tight. All these athletes will benefit immediately from putting these on after they finish sport. Now that's just really around recovery and not causing long-term compression to the forefoot. That's really important. So that type of athlete can just have them in their kit bag, helps with recovery. Their feet will feel better straight away and less sore, which means they'll be able to train faster. However, there is yet another subgroup of athlete as well who's looking to improve their balance. And that's generally speaking most weight-bearing athletes. There is some good research, published research, that toe spaces like this immediately improve static balance. That's a sort of obvious one because it makes the base of support wider. But there's also research to show that improves dynamic balance on the star excursion balance test. And that's from wearing them about 4 hours a day. So we don't yet know what the minimum effective dose is, but clinically what I find, you'll need to get those patients up to about an hour a day. And after 4 weeks, sometimes even earlier, their dynamic balance on the star excursion balance test, and I challenge you to test this out in your patients, improves. So now we're thinking, well, hang on, ACLs, post-hip arthroscopy, elderly patients with falls, my passion, chronic ankle instability. These have all got really significant dynamic balance deficits, and such a simple little thing that they can incorporate into their program. Of course, this is not going to fix it on its own, but as part of a good rehab program, it's such an easy thing to add in, makes a massive difference to their balance, both statically and dynamically. This is really easy to help with. You'll still need to do all your other interventions, your manual therapy, your taping, whatever else you're using to fix these clinical issues. But the athletes is really huge, looking for that performance benefit. And then there's the elderly in terms of falls prevention and longevity. So there you have it, guys. If you are a physio, chiropractor, osteo, body worker, mind therapist, personal trainer, you name it, there's probably something in it for the clients that you work with. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to email me. You can get me at the clinic, andreww@ballandsportsphysio.com.au, or info@freestylefeet.com.au. And if you ever want any samples, if you are a clinician and you'd like to try this out for yourself, also don't hesitate to let me know. I hope that's helpful, and now you know exactly who to put these on.